lot here.
I see them. I will protect.
These bubbles won't burn so easily.
Illness.
Bubble richness up to standard.
My childhood is long gone!
Sickness requires swift treatment.
I've got a magic touch on this.
On me, stay in formation.
Some deep purple for sense of mystery.
We will overcome what confronts us.
Turbulence incoming.
The stage is set. Now, let's see how everyone performs.
These bubbles won't burn so easily. Stain removal efficiency impeccable.
Bit of dark red to get your heart pumping.
Brace yourselves. Cumulonimbus ahead.
Afraid I can't do much about that tongue of yours.
Bubble expanding power? Excellent!
A little lime green for a weird rotten vibe.
On me,
Feeling you're gaining some weight?
Keep it simple. Doesn't matter.
Bubbles.
Captions are adaptable. So let's add an extra ingredient.
Don't touch me! You gonna fix my hazmat suit too? It's called sense.
Bubbles is
A little
we will overcome what confronts us.
brace yourselves. Cumulonimbus ahead.
Bubble dissipation speed? Perfect!
A little lime green for a weird rotten vibe.
Quit playing dead!
Rescue location confirmed.
I've got a magic touch on this.
On me, stay in formation.
My blade will cleave.
Won't take what I've got now!
Don't touch me! You gonna fix my hazmat suit too? It's called sense.
Rough and loaded. We will overcome what confronts us. My blade will cleave.
Don't worry. You're going dead. I will remember.
Accomplished.
I'm not afraid.
I'm sorry we had to meet here.
I almost finished this piece. Just a sec. The stage is set. Now, let's see how everyone performs.
I see them.
Bit of get your...
My childhood is long gone!
Going to need to...
bit of dark red to get your heart pumping.
Stubborn. Let's change how we're administering the meds.
Some deep purple for sense of mystery. A little lime green for a weird rotting vibe.
Bubble expanding.
My childhood is long gone!
Some deep purple for sense of mystery.
I understand the symptoms now. Don't worry. I won't make even the slightest mistake.
Some deep purple for sense of mystery.
Stain removal efficiency impeccable.
The dead, I will remember.
Mission accomplished.
Everybody, please be careful.
Please save your strength. We will get you out.
No more hollow! What if I fill my data wrong? Oh, heard it.
Rescue targets identified.
No more holler! What if I fill my data wrong? Oh, heard it.
Please save your strength. We will get you out.
Keep it simple. Doesn't matter where you put me, I'm still headed for the sky. No more hollering! What if I fill my data wrong? It's all urgency.
In the pipe, 5 by 5.
Get on your knees, now! What? Ever seen an ATAO agent lay down the law before?
Illness is unpredictable. This will be...
Formulating a rescue plan.
Keep it simple. Doesn't matter where you put me, I'm still headed for the sky.
A little lime green for a weird rotting vibe.
Studios incoming.
Dead, I will remember. Don't worry. You're going to be fine.
I understand the symptoms now. Don't worry.
Quit playing dead! One more round, new weapon. It's all the control.
Rescue targets identified. Please say your strength.
Don't touch me! Gonna fix my hazmat suit too? Call sense. So I put the cuffs on you, and now you say you got soup? What? Did you forget you had a brain at the time?